Hello YouTubies, I'm Grant, this is not the garage, and in this video we're working on a rather well-known Copart Boxster. Before we get into it, for the first time ever, I just want to take a second to thank the channel members, people who have joined the membership over the last couple of weeks. Thank you ever so much. I am touched that my little project of what I hope to be entertaining and useful videos has done that enough so for you to do that and join the membership. Thank you very much. Appreciate you greatly. In this video, something very different for the channel is I'm not on my own. There. Hello. Hello everyone, this is Llewellyn from Auto Funk. You may already know him, probably seen his channel. Llewellyn, do you want to tell us where the car came from originally and what we're going to be looking at?
Yeah, so the Boxster came from Copart. I did a video on my channel where me and Mark, who's just out of shot somewhere, took a trailer down to Kent, which we're in Nottingham at the moment, is a long way, and took a chance on this car. I can't remember how much he paid, but I think with the fees it was about £2,000. But at the time it was a complete unknown, so it had a potential cooling issue, and the previous owner, who we phoned, watched the video and find out that conversation was interesting. He said that he thought that the oil pump had failed and that there was no oil pressure, so it was a total gamble. But it's actually turned out that the car's not too bad. If you want to watch that video, I'm sure Grant will put a link in the description. And today we are, over to you, doing some more catch-up maintenance on it. But we're using my garage.
That's it. So I've come up to Lou weirdly from Kent. So this is a Kent-Nottingham collaboration, I think. Fundamentally, we're going to go have a look at doing the water pump, the sender unit, the thermostat, which there is a full DIY video on how to do this on a 986 in the comments below. On another subscriber's car. We're going to be looking at a new belt. We're going to probably be looking at sorting out some few little tricky issues with some of the ignition coils. And we're going to show Mark a little bit more about how to work with and access bits of this car. Now, for those of you who don't know Llewellyn and his channel Auto Funk, it would be well worth going and checking out the channel from the link in the description below if you're into your 80s, early 90s cars. I included a clip or a few clips of some of them for your perusal, and I had the pleasure of, when we turned up to his unit, of seeing this in the flesh, and my God, what a thing. Definitely worth mentioning, doesn't all go to plan. So at the beginning of the day, we just took some time to show Mark how to access the engine through the top and the front cover, and just had a little look through. But as always, and as before, go and check out Lou's video for more of a full picture of what we did. And here's me walking around very non-doing anythingly, supervising. I promise you I'm supervising. But I had already been under the car to detach the hoses so that we could start letting out the coolant. Right, so we have removed the belt. We've already changed the sender down there. We're just waiting for the rest of the coolant to drip out, and then we'll go ahead and we'll remove the bolts around the pump and the thermostat down there and get them swapped out. Again, if you want a full DIY, there is a video on the channel. It'll be in the description below. I'm removing the bolts from the bottom here, and absolute fair play to him. During the day, Mark was more than happy to get stuck in, and he's removing some of the bolts, especially the fiddly ones that you might know from this job, from the top of the water pump with great success. We then got the water pump and the thermostat out. Here I am letting out a little bit more coolant and fitting the shiny new one with the gasket behind it. They've got little tabs in the gasket so you can get the bolts through and they'll hold it in place so it doesn't go walking. And I just went and tightened up everything down below, got everything into position, and once the water pump was in, reattached the two hoses, which was all we needed to empty out what was a significant amount, if not all, of the coolant that was in the car anyway. When we emptied the catch tank, it was close to 16 litres, which is what these cars take anyway. And Mark, a man after my own heart, was there with the Hoover plenty often. Now, I thought it'd be rude not to with what was sitting around us, but I'll just show you a very quick look at Llewellyn's Fox Body Mustang here. This thing is like a time capsule. It was absolutely fantastic. Check out this interior. And if you're into quirky 80s and early 90s cars, definitely go and check out more videos on Llewellyn's channel, Auto Funk, if you haven't already, because they look cool in the videos. When you see them in real life, these things were awesome. When I rocked up in the morning, he was there cleaning his Corvette.
back to the Boxster, and this is where the trouble began. Now, I will explain shortly what the crack was, ultimately, but there were some things that we were trying to resolve with this car that were issues previous to Mark's ownership. So here we are working our way through the bleed procedure. The car's taking quite a long time to kind of get up to temperature and then respond accordingly. We'll include a bit more detail very shortly on what's going on here. But ultimately, we're trying to get it to run up, run the thermostat, drink more of the coolant and burp itself. Now, earlier in the video, Lou mentioned that they took a little bit of a gamble on the car. It was very, very cheap. It was about £2,000 after all the fees were said and done. And if you go and watch Lou's video, you will see the conversation that took place with the previous owner. Now, he described some symptoms and some things that had happened and then was pointing towards the oil pump. But to me at the time, they all sounded like water, coolant, and possibly air issues. Now, as we went and removed the water pump and the thermostat, we found an alarming amount of like RTV gasket sealer, which on these cars shouldn't be needed. And it made me worry that potentially there's some warping somewhere, we're not going to get a good seal. The water pump and the thermostat both come with a metal gasket, or should do, depending where you buy them. They have a metal gasket, it's a use once gasket, and you just sandwich it in between the engine and the water pump or the thermostat as you attach them. Now, we went through the bleed procedure for quite a long time, and it's what largely led to us not getting around to doing the other bits that we wanted to do. And the car wasn't behaving incredibly normally, let's say, during this. One of the things that we, despite Mark having referenced like part numbers in the car, it was the wrong sender unit. So the temperature sensor, we had to change back to the original one, which unfortunately was something that we had suspected was causing a few of the issues prior. If the car doesn't know truly what temperature the coolant is, how does it know how to respond to said temperature? So, after the best attempts for us to bleed it, we decided to call it a day and we began our journey home. Unfortunately, got a call from Mark on the way home, as these things sometimes go, and the temperatures were kind of going all over the place, and it got to a point he was worried enough about what the car was doing or not doing with the temperatures to end up actually trailering it home, getting recovered. Now, what he did do was leave the valve open. So there's a bleed valve under the tray that's in the back of the car where you fill up the coolant. Left it open overnight, left the car with the back end in the air, as you're partly supposed to. It helps the air get to up and out, ultimately. And the next day, he took it for a drive and he sent us some footage, which I will include shortly. Unfortunately, thanks to partly Mark's music taste, and also if he didn't know if he'd want his voice and what he's saying to be in the video, I have changed the audio on it, and you'll see the temperatures were sitting nicely, and the car seems to, fingers crossed, have been behaving since. So potentially it has burped and bled itself, which they can do, although you do want to try and run through the bleed procedure if you're doing this job yourself. This is one of those things that comes with older cars, especially ones with spotty or no history. So a top buying tip, if you are looking at a Boxster, is always favour those that have got service history, so you can see what's been done and particularly how many times. A water pump had been done on Mark's car, I think 5 years prior, and that would be potentially when all the RTV, the gasket sealer, had been put in with it. But when we removed those, and you can see some of this on Lou's channel, there were bits on the inside, so they could very easily have broken off and then be sent around the system. However, I do think we're probably going to have another video up there with those guys in the not too distant future with some more bits to do. We'll make sure we'll include those. But definitely go and check out Lou's video from A, when they went and picked up the car, and the conversation with the previous owner is a funny one. And B, the video where he'll show you a bit more detail of what we did on the day. As promised, here's a short clip of Mark driving it the next day. He mentioned he'd driven it about 12 miles or so. He'd went to fill it up, and the temperature was sitting exactly where it should have and always had before. So it does seem that from leaving it overnight and allowing it to breathe a little, more of the air had released itself. So we're very happy that despite what seemed like there was a much bigger problem at bay, fingers crossed, so far so good, and since the car seems to have been absolutely fine.
So a little bit of a different video today. If you want more of what we did when we were there together, go down into the description and check out Lou's video on his channel. It was lovely of him to have me on and in for the day. We are planning to do a few more things again in the future, considering we've got some very similar cars, some similar tastes and interests, and then some very different ones as well when it comes to certain things. So stick around, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you might want to see that. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. We will resume normal scheduling almost immediately. I'm already working on 2 other videos that will be out shortly. And if you've got a Porsche 986 and you haven't seen it already, we've got a video that could save you £1,000 on parts that you might need to be replacing on these anyway, which I will link here. It will be in one of these boxes, depending on what side of the frame this fits on. See you in the next video.